Hello students, myself Deepak Delle from Computer Science Department, KTHM College, Nasik. Now we are going to start second chapter of our Cyber Security Module 1 as Information Security Overview, Background and Current Scenarios. Today we are going to learn the topic as types of attacks on the data. First of all, the concept of phishing. The phishing is a mechanism which is used to gather confidential information such as usernames, passwords, credit card numbers, and other sensitive information from the users. Actually, it is an attempt to acquire sensitive information, often for malicious reasons, by masquerading as a trustworthy entity in an electronic communication. Phishing takes advantage of the trust that the user may not be able to tell that the site being visited or program being used. It's not real. Therefore, when this occurs, the hacker has the chance to gain the personal information of the targeted user, such as passwords, usernames, security codes, and credit card numbers, among other things. Basically, it is a concern under the area cybercrime, in which a target or targets are contacted with the help of email, telephone numbers, and text messages. Basically, whenever personal data has to be asked to the users, they just trust that link and enter the details like banking information, then identity information, other details such as credit card details along with the passwords, and due to that phishing attacks occurs. Phishing is the fraudulent attempt to obtain sensitive information or data such as usernames, passwords, credit card numbers, or other sensitive details by impersonating oneself as a trustworthy entity in a digital communication. Now let us consider one example regarding with phishing. Here, suppose we are getting one link in an email. That link can be referred as an URL. URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator, means it is an address which we have to put in the browser so that we can easily navigate or we can easily browse the web pages whatever enter in the URL page by the user. So here I am giving one example. You can see that URL with PPT as http://www. It stands for World Wide Web. Then domain name as yourbank.example.com. It appears as though the URL will take you to your bank website. Actually, this URL points to a phishing site which looks as your original bank website. After that, user will ask to enter his credentials, his details, and whenever that user will enter all his confidential information, that attack occurs and can be considered as a phishing attack. It has various types. In that, first one is nothing but email phishing. In email phishing, messages are sent with the help of email. The group will register a fake domain that mimics a genuine organization and sends thousands out of thousands generic requests. Common features of phishing emails as first one is too good to be true. Now in this first feature, lucrative offers and eye-catching or attention-grabbing statements are designed to attract people's attention immediately. For instance, many claim that you have won an iPhone, a lottery, or some other lavish prize. Just don't click on any suspicious emails. Remember that if it seems too good to be true, it probably happens. Basically, offers are given to the user, and whenever user click on that offer, that user may lose his sensitive data or confidential information. Second feature is nothing but sense of urgency. Here, a favorite tactic amongst cyber criminals is to ask you to act fast because the super deals are only for a limited time. So user can guess that offer is for only limited period of time. So we have to click immediately on this. So before thinking too much on that link, user just click, as well as user can respond the data whatever asked by the attacker. Sometimes some data may be ignored, but whenever you add your account details suspended unless you update your personal details immediately, at that moment data loss may occur. Now third one feature is hyperlinks. A link may not be all it appears to be. However, a link shows you the actual URL where you will be directed upon clicking on it. It could be completely different, or it could be a popular website with a misspelling. Means what? Suppose there is some bank website, and that bank website is a popular website, popular bank, and whenever you click on that link, same type of URL is available, but there is misspelling of either one or two characters, and you can easily redirect it to the fake link, and again data loss can occur. Now fourth feature is attachments. If you see an attachment in an email we are not expecting, or that doesn't make sense, so don't open it. They will ask for opening that attachment, but don't click on that attachment. Because of that, some viruses will enter your system and data loss can occur. If there is only save files with .txt, then you can open that attachments. Next one is unusual sender. In unusual sender, it looks like it's from someone you don't know or someone you do know. If anything seems out of the ordinary, unexpected, out of character, or just suspicious in general, don't click on it. So this is all about email phishing. Now next one is spear phishing. In case of spear phishing, that attacker can attack on your data immediately. Basically, it happens with the help of spear phishing, which describes malicious emails sent to a specific person. Criminals who do this will already have some or all of the following information about the victim. Victim means that person's information already collected by the hacker, such as name of the person, then place of the employment, then job title of that person, email address, his job role, his mobile number, or his some personal information already gathered by the attacker, and this falls under category spear phishing. Now third one is smishing and vishing. Now basically smishing occurs with the help of, or this attack happens with the help of SMS. SMS stands for short message service. And second is vishing. Whenever some telephonic conversation will happen, that telephonic conversation will be recorded, and that recording will be used for attack, and this is nothing but vishing. A common vishing scam involves a criminal posing as a fraud investigator. Sometimes that person can tell that he is fraud investigator, and for that purpose you have to provide some account details to him, and suppose those details will be your confidential details and received by the attacker, then again this type of attack will happens. Then last one is angler phishing. It is relatively new attack vector. Social media offers a number of ways for criminals to trick people. Again, fake URLs, clones websites, posts and tweets, and instant messaging can all be used to pursue people for sensitive information or download malware. Now next category is IP spoofing. Spoofing is the creation of TCP/IP transmission control protocol/internet protocol packets using somebody else's IP address. Routers use the destination IP address in order to forward packets through the internet, but ignore the source IP address. Means whenever I want to transfer data from one sender to another receiver or source to destination, at that moment that sender will use address of other person, other system, but still it will be like he is the original sender, and that is nothing but spoofing. So that address is only used by the destination machine when it responds back to the source, and when that destination machine will respond to the sender, at that moment the data whatever sent by the destination machine will be taken by the hacker and spoofing happens. Many of the protocols in the TCP/IP protocol suite do not provide mechanisms for authenticating the source or destination of a message. They are thus vulnerable to spoofing attacks when extra precautions are not taken by applications to verify the identity of the sending or receiving host. Basically, IP spoofing and ARP spoofing in particular may be used to leverage man-in-the-middle attack against hosts on a computer network. So that system or the man in the middle may attack on the data, and data integrity get lost, data will be updated and sent towards the destination. Spoofing attacks which take advantage of TCP/IP suite protocols may be mitigated with the use of firewalls capable of deep packet inspection or by taking measures to verify the identity of the sender or recipient of a message. Now next one is impersonation. Sometimes we receive call and that person says that I am calling from some bank. This is call for verification, and after gathering all the information, all sensitive information, it will be used for fraudulent transactions, and it means that impersonation. It is an act of pretending to be another person for the purpose of fraud. It can be done via any communication mechanism like either phone, email or etc. Again, one example is given for the bank. Now last topic is dumpster diving. Searching from trash or garbage. Now basically, in the world of information technology, dumpster diving is a technique used to retrieve information that could be used to carry out an attack on a computer network. Dumpster diving is not limited to searching through the trash for obvious treasures like access codes or password written down on sticky notes. In computer world, dumpster diving refers to using various methods to get information about a technology user. In general, dumpster diving involves searching through trash or garbage looking for something useful. This is often done to uncover useful information that may help an individual get access to a particular network. So while the term can literally refer to looking through trash, it is used more often in the context of any method, especially physical methods by which a hacker might look for information about a computer network. Thank you.